Coming up at 5:30, we take you to Frankfort for an update of what happened yesterday during the General Assembly. We will have the latest on a deadly stabbing in Pike County, including reaction from the victim's daughter. And officials at one Kentucky university are ending one medical program in order to serve students being affected by a new issue.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Thursday, March 14th. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon?
It's a busy start to the day. We're going to see more action later on, though, but this morning, not too busy is what I meant to say. Not too busy this morning, but the action comes later. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar as we scan the skies here at 5:31. You can see that action back off to our west there with a couple of storms starting to fire up near Louisville, but we zoom out to the state view and you can see a lot more where those are coming from. We're riding along a cold front that's going to affect us a little bit later on today. Temperature is very mild this morning, 40s, 50s, and 60s. State view, almost 70 already out in south central Kentucky. Your planner for today, we're going to climb to close to 80, and then chances for scattered showers and storms will start to pick up the later in the day we get. The full forecast is on the way here in just a few minutes. Taylor?
Thanks, Brandon. Last night was a late night for lawmakers in Frankfort. They will meet 2 more times before the end of this legislative session, but they still have a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. Angela Regard has the latest developments from the state capitol.
It's a move that cuts about $105 million in state revenue. Lawmakers passing House Bill 354, a tax cleanup bill. That bill giving a tax break to some locally owned banks and exempting nonprofit groups from sales taxes imposed last year. House Speaker David Osborne giving up his gavel to speak on the House floor.
This is a good piece of legislation. It is a thoughtful piece of legislation that is considerate of business in Kentucky and considerate of the working people of Kentucky.
But not everyone is on board.
We can't pay our bills, and this bill is a Lamborghini.
Teachers from the state's largest school district yet again showing up in protest of House Bills 205 and 525. Both bills looking like they won't go anywhere with only 2 full days left in the session. 525 dealing with the Teachers Retirement Board.
Well, I believe 525 is dead. Again, I've been around this process a long time. Like Lazarus, things can come back to life.
And 205 private school scholarship tax credits.
They would need 60 votes since it's a non-budget session, and that's going to be problematic at this time. So 205 is probably something we're going to have to address next session.
A bipartisan group of Louisville legislators making a statement assuring educators those bills won't pass this session or be put into other bills in what seems to be an attempt to avoid another sick out.
Lawmakers also passed House Bill 358 on Wednesday. It lets universities and some state agencies buy out of the state's pension system. And teachers from Eastern Kentucky will head to Frankfort later today. We're told a delegation of educators from Letcher County will be bused to the state capitol. Meanwhile, Hazard City School Superintendent Sandy Johnson made the decision to cancel school. She said in an email, "We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause families, but that she feels supporting public education is critical." School was already canceled for Friday. And Kentucky's largest school district will also be out again today. Jefferson County Public Schools have now called off 3 days in a row and 6 times in the last 2 weeks. Teachers called in sick to protest of several bills moving through the Kentucky legislature. They are just short of 100,000 students enrolled in the district. And state senators passed a bill on Wednesday that will ban abortions based on gender, race, or disability. The bill now heads to Governor Bevin for his signature. The ACLU says it plans to sue Kentucky over House Bill 5. In response, Governor Bevin took to Twitter. He said, quote, "Bring it. Kentucky will always fight for life." And a bill that made it out of committee is likely now dead on the House floor is House Bill 175. That bill would have legalized sports betting for online poke and fantasy sports.
It is unlikely that bill will see any further movement this year.
Lawmakers say they just ran out of time. Supporters of the bill hoped that it could help the failing pension system. And Toyota recently announced a partnership for 700-acre solar panel farm in Pike County. It will take around a year and a half to build with 400,000 to 500,000 panels. Construction of the farm will create around 200 jobs, and once completed will hold around 50 jobs. The panels will last around 35 years. RH Group Vice President Ryan Johns says with this addition, Kentucky will be able to compete for new high-tech jobs.
It's going to give Kentucky a chance to compete for the projects like an Apple and Amazon, Facebook, Google, any of these people that are putting in data centers.
Broadband will be installed in order for the panels to function. RH Group engineers say you will be able to see the project from space. They hope to begin construction late this summer. And in local news, a Pike County woman is reflecting on the moment her dad died in her arms. Police say Beverly Hamilton's boyfriend, Michael Yates, stabbed him in a parking lot on Tuesday. She says arguments were common between Yates and her dad, Charles. State police say it only took one stab wound to kill him. She says she never dreamed a fight between the two would lead to one of them being dead.
It was just surreal. It was like it was. I knew he was dead. Something, whenever I saw that much blood, I knew that he was going to die.
State police charged Yates with murder. Right now, we do not know the funeral arrangements for Charles Ratliff. And there was more fallout yesterday from the biggest college admissions scam ever prosecuted. Actress Lori Loughlin was taken into custody in Los Angeles and then released on $1 million bond. Loughlin and her husband are among dozens of parents accused of paying bribes and faking athletic resumes to get their kids into college. The money was funneled through William Rick Singer, who promoted himself as college life coach. Several coaches have been fired, including USC's water polo coach.
Are you angry?
I am furious. I just want to know what this institution is going to do about it. You know, for every time that this person got accepted, we got denied.
In all, 50 people have been charged in the $25 million scheme. The judge allowed Loughlin to keep her passport for now so she can travel to British Columbia for her acting work. And a woman in Owsley County is running a very successful business after nearly losing her life a couple years back. Laura Thorpe owns Robots in Disguise, a graphic design and embroidery shop. In 2015, she was in a crash and spent more than a week in the hospital with bones shattered in her legs. She is now, with the help of her sisters, the owner of the Boonville business.
It's interesting just because a small town doesn't have to stop you. If you put yourself out there and you reach out to an audience bigger than what you have, you can be bigger than what you are.
We'll have much more on her story and how she's overcome obstacles coming up at 6:30. And for some college students, the campus offers more than they had at home. That's what it's like for some at Morehead State University who enjoy the free dental care. But as of June, the free dentist will be gone. Not because it's not important, but administrators tell WKYT's Miranda Combs there's another health problem that needs even more attention.
Go ahead and turn towards me.
Sometimes you forget the things you should be thankful for.
And open and close.
Even the things that aren't overly pleasant.
I mean, it's everything for some of us. I mean, I never had access to a dentist growing up. I grew up in severe poverty in eastern Kentucky.
Dakota Barr remembers standing in frigid lines at 3 a.m. waiting for the remote area medical clinic to see him as a child.
Growing up, to me, if I got a cavity, that was punishment because that was $140 that my parents didn't have.
So the first time he sat down in a real dentist chair was freshman year.
The first time I ever saw a dentist, like just for a cleaning, was here.
How old were you?
Well, I was in college. I mean, probably 19 years old.
Morehead State University started this oral health program about 5 years ago through a federal grant. Dental hygienists could clean students' teeth 5 days a week, and a dentist was in for more detailed dental work 1 day a week. Free for students, but they took insurance too.
You have providers on this campus that solely treat college students. And so they've got a really unique perspective about the health needs of college students.
But as of June, the university is shutting the clinic down.
For the most part, the administration has been completely silent on the issue.
But the administration immediately offered to sit down with us.
Is it paying for itself? And we realized right away it wasn't.
To explain, MSU VP Russell Mast says the grant that supported the clinic ran out 2 years ago. The university tried to keep the clinic going for 2 more years and ended up in the hole, bad, operating at a net loss of about $150,000 per year.
The revenue is just not paying for the service, and we've determined that we have a much higher need in mental health, and we're going to allocate those resources to hiring more mental health professionals.
Mast says the dental clinic saw a few hundred patients a year. He understands its importance to those students, but when he found out the waiting list for mental health counseling was more concerning, he changed his focus.
Sometimes they had to wait 2 or 3 weeks, and we don't want that. We want to get students in as quickly as we can and help them any way we can.
But Barr would argue dental health is just as crucial and tied to mental health. With so many students at MSU coming from areas where oral health wasn't an option, they were thankful for the opportunity. In Morehead, Miranda Combs.
Vice President Mast says they will make sure students who need dental care are connected with free services. Right now, the campus has 2 mental health counselors. They plan to hire 2 more this summer. And coming up on Mountain News this morning, we take a trip to Hollywood to get you caught up on all of the day's entertainment headlines.
While things are quiet for now, chances for some stronger storms are definitely possible later. I'll track them out for you in about 3 minutes.